So when you're true to yourself, you're able to reflect the same to the people around you. Being in Bilbao for this particular summit, I'm more excited about the fact that I'm not among a group of psychiatrists. I'm actually among a group of people who exercise well-being in different forms and in forms that are so different from my own work. The holisticness of the approach. So I'm really, really excited that, I'm just not among peers, medical jargon, medical people, which is one challenge that we tend to have as psychiatrists, medicalizing everything and forgetting that people are made up of, the various components of their life. Their spiritual well-being is also a very, very crucial part. And you realize that, focusing on the mental health actually brings up all the other components of well-being. Establishing deep connections with people is definitely important for that human connection. And for me, how to establish that is, it starts by being true to yourself. So when you're true to yourself, you're able to reflect the same to the people around you. Many a times you meet someone at work or you're walking and you say, "Hi, how are you?" And before you even finish the sentence, you have already walked away. You don't take that moment to stop and actually listen to their response so that they can actually be able to respond back to you. So if you try that out to say really hi to someone, and when you ask them, "How are you?" and you actually waited for their response and you look them in the face, you realize that the response they give you is not the usual. They'll probably be able to give you a bit more of how they're actually feeling. And that's how we create that human connection. It's just starting with, self-introspection, emotional intelligence, emotional awareness, taking care of yourself. All the components of self-care is actually the most important. Being a young person in your 20s, 30s, having a degree but never had a job, never worked, and being unemployed, which is one of the situations in my country, in Zimbabwe, actually makes it difficult. So for those young people, they end up engaging, taking, substances of abuse, taking drugs, and they end up with depression and anxiety because of the environment that is around. So some of the challenges are internal. So there is stigma, there's internal stigma, there's external stigma, but there's also the environment, the economic and the social environment that we are in, which sometimes poses challenges in terms of just being able to bring that mental health awareness in my country. Creating boundaries between my life and work is one of the biggest challenges because I'm quite passionate about my work. So you will find that sometimes I literally bring work home, but sometimes I mentally bring work home, and drag it together with my family. Conscious effort to say, okay, in terms of time, so, putting aside time to say, I work from Monday to Friday and I work this many hours. I do not work on a Saturday because I give that time to my children so that, at least they do have a present mom. And their mental health is also not affected at a young age because they have an absent mother who's busy helping everybody else but not paying attention to them. So yes, it's not easy. It's actually quite a lot of work. So that comes in now, the work-life balance. So yes, I have personally faced challenges, which is balancing out, my work and my life as well, and just balancing that out. And sometimes just remembering that, the same prescription that I give to others is the same that I should take. So when I talk about holistic care of your mental health, your self-care, so then I start also to put boundaries and start practicing all those self-care components. I can imagine the connections that we are going to make, the people in the various spaces of well-being, the people who have a similar vision of social change. yes, the difference might not be something that you see as a, big fad, but definitely everybody's going to go back to their community. Everybody's going to go back to their space, more enlightened. And particularly after the COVID pandemic, it's just like we're all regrouping, because this is also one time that we are all meeting. And face-to-face, something that has not been able to happen for the last 2-3 years because of the restrictions. But now just being able to connect and make all these collaborations that are going to come up from this summit, and collaborations which I foresee are going to really make an impact in the near future, yes.